अनेक जन्म संप्राप्त कर्म बंध विदाहिने आत्मज्ञान प्रदानेन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. I bow down to the divine Guru, who imparts to the disciple the fire of self-knowledge and burns away his bonds of karma accumulated through many births. I bow down to my Guru again and again. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. This morning our subject is Holy Mother as a Guru. Who is Guru? According to Tantra, Gu means darkness, ignorance. Ru means remover, destroyer. The person who removes, destroys ignorance is the Guru. Nowadays the word Guru has been used frequently. Some people say Wall Street Guru, this Guru, that Guru. Sometimes we smile. Who is Guru? Sri Ramakrishna told a beautiful parable. Once a pregnant tigress jumped on the flock of a sheep. While giving a jump, the mother tiger gave birth to a cub and died. And this little cub tiger was raised by the shepherds along with their sheep. This small tiger began to eat grass and making noise like the sheep, ba ba. In the course of time, another big tiger came and was surprised to see a tiger, quite a young tiger, is with the sheep. This big tiger grabbed this young tiger and said, "Look, you are a tiger, you are not a sheep." No, I am not a tiger, I am a sheep." Several times he talked to that young tiger that way, but could not convince him. Then he grabbed this young tiger and took him to a lake and told him, "Look, don't you look alike? See your face and my face? Yes. Now eat a chunk of meat and roar like me." This young tiger did that and got back his tiger nature. So the sheep nature is gone, so tiger nature came. Sri Ram Vedanta says the same thing. We are all hypnotized by Maya. We think I am Mr. So-and-so, Miss So-and-so, but actually we are the Atman. We need, as a big tiger, give the knowledge of the young tiger that you are the tiger, you are not the sheep. Similarly, the Guru grabs the disciple and convinces the disciple that you are the Atman, you are Brahman, you are not Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so. So, this is called dehypnotization. We are all hypnotized by the spell of Maya. But this Guru gives the knowledge of the self, of the Atman. That is a beautiful parable, but it has a really good meaning. Our inside is darkness. There is a famous Sufi story. A man lost a coin in his house and he was searching on the street. Then another saint came, "What are you doing?" Well, I'm searching a coin. "Why did you drop?" "Well, in my home." "Then why are you searching on the street?" "Because there is no light in my room. There is a street light, I can see clearly." That is happening to all of us. All the time we are carrying God in our heart, but we are searching outside. What does the Guru do? There is a saying in our language, Pradip thike Pradip. Here is a lighted candle, here is an unlighted candle. So we touch this candle and we light it. So this lighted candle is the Guru. So we light. We get illumination. That is the reason Sri Ramakrishna blessed his disciples. Chaitanya Hok, be illumined. That is the function of the Guru. He illumines the hearts of the disciples. In the Vedantic literature we find Guru's position is very great. Wonderful is the expounder and rare is the hearer. Rare indeed is the experiencer of the Atman taught by an able preceptor. Guru. There are many gurus in this world, but some are not real gurus. Sometimes Guru business is a good business. They make money. Their goal is different. But the real Guru, Shankara says, Shrotriyo, he knows the inner meaning and the outer meaning of the scripture. Abrijino, very pure soul. Akamahato, desireless. He does not seek anything from his disciples. Shatta Kamo, Shatta Sankalpo. Very truthful, man of truth, man of love. Sometimes people say that my Guru is greater than Guru. Swami Satprakashananda, my predecessor, who was the founder of this Vedanta Society of St. Louis, told his story. He went to Swami Brahmananda, a disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, for initiation. And Brahmananda generally used to harass. 4 years, 5 years, he will harass and harass, just to check that whether you are a genuine disciple or not. So he was a little bit disappointed when tried to go to Jairambati to have initiation from Holy Mother. But on the way he became sick, came back to Calcutta. Swami Brahmananda heard whole story. Of course later Swami Brahmananda initiated him. But the Swami had a question. He went to Swami Shivananda and asked, Maharaj, some people take initiation from Brahmananda and some from Mother. Is there any difference? Shivananda says, no difference. Same Ganges water are coming through two faucets. Same Sri Ramakrishna Shakti, power, is coming through Brahmananda from Holy Mother. No difference. We people here in St. Louis, we drink the water of Mississippi River. Your water and my water are not different. Same St. Louis city is distributing the water to your home, to my home. Same way we see the same Shakti, power of God, is coming through different channels. That's all. It is a very good analogy that sometimes some people, narrow-minded people, think my God is greater than your God, my Guru is greater than your Guru. This is not right. Guru Shakti is one. Swami Bhutishananda also made a remark about Guru. If one thinks the body of the Guru is the Guru, then the doctrine of the Guru will be engaged in the doctrine of the body. And if one considers the Guru as Ishta, the chosen deity, Then when the Guru dies, one will not miss the Guru. That Guru is the eternal Guru. You see, Dehatmabad, a Guru. So when people come, I say, yes, I am a Guru, I give initiation, I give instruction, I help people in that way. But I always ask them to have a relationship with Sri Ramakrishna. So when I shall die, so you will not be orphans. You know this place is yours. You have an eternal relationship with God. That our tradition teaches. It is not Guru cult or individual cult. That is the reason. Do you know what? So it will go generation after generation. Sri Ramakrishna is the source. Then his disciples, his disciples, his disciples, they will come to this center, and the same spiritual tradition will flow from this place. Otherwise, you will see some one Swami center, one Swami organization. When he dies, organization goes away. Or the disciples fight and quarrel. Not in our organization. Our organization does not depend on individuality. It depends on the principle. That is the beauty. That is the reason Sri Ramakrishna says, Sachidananda, or God, is the only Guru, Father and Master. We are just His representatives, that's all. One day a devotee heard Sri Ramakrishna, but what does the Guru do? Guru is just like a matchmaker. He takes the disciple, and here is the Ishta, he connects through a mantra. I sometimes tell people, do you know what initiation is? You write a letter, put it in an envelope, you write the address, you put a stamp, and then you put that letter in the mailbox. You exactly know that United States Postal Service is very dependable. That letter will definitely reach its destination. Similarly, Guru gives the mantra in the heart, and that is the stamp, and he knows that this soul will definitely reach God. That is initiation. Initiation is very important in spiritual life. Otherwise, do you know what will happen? Suppose they have a young man, young girl without marriage living together. I don't like you. Next day you will go with another girl, and that girl will go another boy. They are continuously changing and changing and changing. They do not have established relationship. That is called initiation. I have a definite established relationship with God. I am just telling you that what initiation means. Diksha. Oh no, Sri Ramakrishna told his disciples, sir, what happens when Guru dies? The Guru merges into chosen deity, Ishta. The Guru, Krishna and the devotee, these three are one, and the one manifests as three. Diksha. Initiation means Diksha. Diyate Gyanam Kshiyate Poshuvasana. The Guru gives knowledge. The knowledge will destroy your animal instincts, worldly desires, worldly propensities. Why? Because that will not give you happiness, peace, joy. Guru wants my disciple must get bliss and peace in this life. That he does through the mantra. Mantra works. I remember when I was in 1992, I was in London. I was conducting a retreat. A man came, wanted initiation from me. I told him, no, I shall not initiate here. You go to India. He is an open-heart surgeon. His wife is a chemistry professor. So what happened? They went and took initiation from Swami Bhuteshananda. Then after a year, they called me from London and said, Swami, You know, something happened after initiation. Uncle, what? We don't quarrel anymore. And husband and wife, you know, they had fight. We don't quarrel anymore. Uncle, look, mantra works. Initiation works. I laughed. But we are not quarreling. After initiation, something happened. The mantra, seed mantra has a power. You put a seed in the ground, then seed swells, bursts, and comes the sprout, and then comes the plant. So this mantra, when it enters into the heart, I tell the disciples, first irrigate, give water every day. That means devotion. Then remove the weeds, discrimination, and then give fertilizer. That means longing. If you put these three in the mantra, mantra will burst. And you will get an awakening. That is the way this mantra works. If hard ground breaks when that seed comes up from the ground. I am just giving you a little brief description how this mantra scripture works. Mother as a guru. When we say Holy Mother, we see her in three places. Her three aspects. She appears as the mother. We get a glimpse of her inherent power of imparting that true knowledge that dispels all ignorance. Mother. Then, when we approach her as a guru, she draws us to her lap as a mother. And when we recognize the mother and the guru in her, we find her seated transcendently in her own divine effulgence. In fact, we cannot discern where any of these mutually dependent aspects ends and another begins. Holy Mother manifests in three ways: Mother, Guru, and Goddess. She is the Goddess, but she is acting in two roles in the human plane. I am your mother. Come, I am affectionate. I want to take you in my lap. Second, Guru. I shall give you knowledge. Sometimes she washes you. If you are full of dirt or filth, the mother washes her baby, her child, and then takes her on her lap. Same thing, Holy Mother will cleanse all of your dirt, all of your impurities, and then she will take you in her lap. And then she will impart you knowledge. Then you will see, where is my mother? And where is my guru? You see a goddess in front of you. It is a beautiful aspect of Holy Mother. She is acting in three roles simultaneously. Not everybody, not ordinary guru. As a magnet attracts the iron pins or clips, but the pin is full of mud, the magnet cannot attract. So you will have to clean your pin. How? Generally, ordinary pins we wash it with water, and then immediately the magnet will attract it. Similarly, we can clean our impurities through tears, through crying to God, through prayer, through meditation, through repeating mantra. In 1886, Sri Ramakrishna passing away. Next 34 years, Holy Mother conducted Sri Ramakrishna's spiritual ministry. While Sri Ramakrishna was alive, he imparted the results of all of his sadhana to Holy Mother and awakened the motherhood of God in her. You see, this motherhood of God is very, very special in our tradition. God as the mother. In Judeo-Christian tradition, God is considered as father, fatherhood of God. But we have both, fatherhood and motherhood. Holy Mother said, the mantra purifies the body. One becomes pure by repeating the name of God given by the Guru. Once a disciple asked Mother if the mere repetition of the holy word taught by an adept Guru really helped the aspirant if he did not possess intense devotion. Holy Mother answered, whether you jump into water or are pushed into it, your cloth will be soaked, will it not? That is a good answer. Knowingly, unknowingly, if you bite a chili, your tongue will burn. You cannot help it. Your tongue will burn. Similarly, if you repeat this mantra, if you practice spiritual disciplines, you will definitely get the result. It never happens that one did not get anything. I remember one story. A devotee came to Swami Brahmananda and complained, Maharaj, I am coming here 20 years but I am not getting anything. Swami Brahmananda looked at him and said, listen, if you would not get here anything, you would not come here second time. You get something. Otherwise, why do you come here? You get something. Holy Mother was not an ordinary Guru. I remember Swami Asheshananda was a disciple of Holy Mother. He went to Swami Sharadananda after Holy Mother's passing away and said, Maharaj, I see, he was his secretary, when you initiate, you do so much rituals and so much formalities, but when I was initiated, Mother just gave me a mantra and taught me how to repeat the mantra, that's all. Could we add something what Holy Mother taught me? Then Sharadananda replied, you are the greatest fool. Holy Mother is the Divine Mother herself. All these methods and procedures are given by other teachers, but not Holy Mother. Whatever Holy Mother has given you is the last word in your spiritual life. You cling to that mantra, repeat it, meditate and think of your chosen ideal. And when the longing for the vision of God comes, you will find that your mind will know it, that your mind will be fixed on the Divine Spirit, and that all your desire will be fulfilled. Do you mean to say I should add something to what Holy Mother has given? It is due to her grace that I am here, even. Next, redeemer of sin and bad karma. What does the Guru do? In Christianity, we understand vicarious atonement. Christ takes other sins and suffers. That we see in Holy Mother's life. She initiated and got all this rheumatic pain and various kinds of illness. You see, they are like a sponge. They take away all of your sins and all of your bad karma. They have a special power. Sri Ramakrishna also did the same thing. He got cancer because of taking sin from the sinners, Girish and others. He took the power of attorney. Swami Ishanananda told us, I knew many of Mother's disciples, told us, Mother, at night time she was not sleeping, she was repeating mantra. Mother, why do you repeat mantra? At night you do not sleep. What can I do, my child? All these children come to me and with great longing for initiation, but most of them do not repeat the mantra regularly. Why regularly? Many do not repeat at all, eat at all. But since I have taken responsibility for them, should I not see to their welfare? Therefore I do japa for their sake. I constantly pray to the Master, saying, Master, awaken their spiritual consciousness, give them liberation. There is a great deal of suffering in this world. May they not be born here again. That is Mother's grace. Then one disciple asked, Mother, do you remember you initiated so many people? Do you remember all of them? Well, not really. But some I remember, and some, those who I do not remember, I repeat mantra for them and I pray to the Master. A disciple asked, Mother, how does one realize God? Worship, japa, meditation, do this help? None of this help, replied the Mother. Then how does one get the vision of God? It is only through God's grace. But one must practice meditation and japa. This removes the impurities of the mind. One must practice spiritual disciplines such as worship, japa and meditation. As one gets the fragrance of a flower by handling it, or as one gets the smell of sandalwood by rubbing it against a stone. In the same way, one gets spiritual awakening by constantly thinking of God. But you can realize God right now if you become desireless. Beautiful. Beautiful. Grace. Do you know how do I explain grace? Here is a blade of a scissor, and here is another blade. Two blades are necessary to cut a cloth. One blade cannot cut the cloth. So self-effort and grace, both are necessary. If you make effort, grace will come. Somebody asked Swami Vivekananda, Swamiji, how can one get grace? He put 4 conditions. First, physically and mentally be pure. Purity of heart. Second, intense longing for God. Third, discriminate between the real and the unreal. And the fourth, regular meditation and spiritual disciplines. If you do these 4, that means grace is bound to come to you. Swamiji said, Kaya monovakke, pavitrata, tibra anurag, sadasad vichar, and nitya job dhan. These are the 4 things Swamiji said, preconditions for grace. Somebody asked, Mother, do you initiate out of your own wish? No, I initiate people purely out of compassion. They do not leave me alone. They weep. That moves my heart. Out of kindness I give initiation. She was not well. Sometimes she would suffer from malaria fever. Even from the bed, she used to initiate people. So one day, a disciple says, Mother, it is not right, you are not well. Mother, after your recovery this time, we will not allow anyone to receive initiation from you. You suffered terribly by absorbing sins of your disciples. The mother smiled softly and said, What do you say so, my children? Did the Master came this time only to eat Rasgulla? This compassionate statement silenced all. Wonderful statement. ঠাকুর কি রসগোল্লা খেতে এসেছিলেন? One day seeing her suffering, one disciple was telling, Mother, let me take your suffering. No, my son, you keep well. And doubt and restlessness. Doubt. One disciple came and asked, Mother, You initiated me, but I have no peace of mind. My mind is restless. You take back your mantra. I do not want you to suffer on my behalf. Mother looked at him and said, all right, you will not have to repeat any mantra, give everything to me. Then the disciple became frightened. What? My relationship will be with the mother will be over forever? Distraught, Vaikuntha said, Mother, you have taken away everything from me. What shall I do now? Does it mean that I am going to hell? The mother said in an animated voice, what do you mean? You are my child. How can you go to hell? Those who are my children are already free. Even Providence has not the power to send my children to hell. Be at rest, entrusting your responsibility on me. And always remember that there is someone who is behind you, and he will come at the last moment and lead you to the eternal abode. Then he said, reassured that depressed disciple, you may not be able to practice japa regularly. The Master will have to come to receive you at the final moment. He himself promised this to me. Can these words be otherwise? Do whatever you like and enjoy your life. What a great reassurance. Sri Ramakrishna promised to her, those who will take initiation from you, at the last moment I shall come and take them with me. Just think of that. They are not ordinary gurus. Another disciple was depressed, was piqued and did not visit mother for a long time. Then mother called him and told him, look, my child, the sun dwells high in the sky and water remains on the earth. Does the water have to shout at the sun and ask, oh sun, please take me up? It is the very nature of the sun to take up the water in the form of vapor. Let me assure you that you will not have to practice spiritual disciplines. I shall take care of you. A bad child sometimes may be born, but a bad mother never. Christ said, as long as you are with the bridegroom, have a good cheer. Be of good cheer. In the world ye shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. Similarly, Holy Mother also told her disciples. I remember this gentleman. His name was Mahendranath Gupta from Borisha. He was a professor of chemistry. So when I was visiting Holy Mother, this old man used to come every evening to attend the Vesper service. And he told this story, that he went to Jayarambaji, and while in Jayarambaji is Holy Mother's birthplace, 60 miles from Calcutta. So there he was practicing japa and meditation, thinking that Guru's house I shall do a lot of disciplines. Holy Mother told him, what is the matter with you? You have come to the Mother, what is the necessity of practicing so much japa and meditation? I am doing everything for you. Now enjoy food and rejoice without worry and anxiety. Do you know how do I look at it? You have gone to your home to see your mother. Before going to the mother, you call mother, mother, mother. The moment mother appears before you, do you say, mother, sit down, let me meditate, closing my eyes. Then you are foolish. At that time, just see mother, talk to her and enjoy. You will not have to close your eyes and repeat mantra, mother, 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 who is sitting in front of you. You are foolish. That is the way I look at mothers and Sri Ramakrishna, sitting in front of her. Just enjoy. Another disciple said, Mother, I have taken initiation, shall I have to eat vegetarian food? The mother, what do you mean? Why will you be a vegetarian? My children are free to eat non-vegetarian food. Enjoy variety of food and live happily. I shall take care of your other things. I knew this man also, Naresh Chakraborty. He was a chartered accountant in Calcutta. When I read these things, those people come to my mind. I can see them. Mantra purifies the body. Human beings become pure by repeating God's name. In spiritual life, these are the universal and eternal questions. How to control the restless mind, how to overcome lust and anger, how to attain peace and joy in life, how to practice spiritual disciplines, how can we see God, what will happen after death. Holy Mother answered all these questions. Sometimes, why Guru is necessary in spiritual life? Do you know why? Sometimes it becomes a very danger if you do not have a Guru. If you go to a drugstore and take medicine indiscriminately, you may die. Some medicines are poisonous. Similarly, the Guru gives the right medicine. That is